No one paid attention to the quiet woman in seat 9A. She boarded late, hood up, sunglasses still on despite the dim cabin lights, moving with the kind of precision that didn't belong to an ordinary passenger. But people were too distracted to notice anything unusual. It was a packed evening flight from Denver to Seattle. Families settling in, business travelers tapping away on laptops, a crying baby 2 rows back, and the hum of engines promising a smooth ride through clear skies. The woman in 9A said nothing. She tucked her duffel under the seat, pressed her back firmly into the cushion, and closed her eyes. Anyone who glanced her way saw nothing more than a tired traveler avoiding small talk. No one knew she was rehearsing something in her mind, something she hoped she would never need again. Even the flight attendants overlooked her. Maya, the lead attendant, noted her as quiet, compliant, low maintenance. Just another passenger, just another stranger in the crowd. But that illusion of her being just a passenger would shatter within hours. The first hint arrived in a whisper from the cockpit. A strange vibration pulsed under the floor, subtle enough that only someone with trained instincts would react. The woman in 9A opened one eye. The hum of the engines wasn't steady yet, most wouldn't notice, but she felt it. Her fingers twitched, reading the tremors like a language she once knew fluently. She exhaled slowly and forced her eyes shut again. She wasn't here for this. Not anymore. Minutes passed. The plane climbed through the layers of cloud, the sky fading from sunset orange to deep blue. Passengers relaxed. Small talk resumed. A toddler laughed as his mother blew bubbles from a tiny wand. The seatbelt sign clicked off. Everything seemed fine. Then came the sound. A metallic groan, low but unmistakable, shuddered along the fuselage. Most passengers paused, glanced around, then continued their conversations. Turbulence, they assumed. The turbulence didn't make both engines cough. The cough was sharp, mechanical, followed by a drop and thrust so sudden the cabin lights flickered. A few passengers gasped. The woman in 9A didn't move, didn't flinch. Her breathing slowed, controlled. Her mind cataloged every detail. Altitude, dropping, engine pitch, abnormal, vibration pattern, left engine failure, right engine unstable. Probability of pilots recovering without external input. Slim, she knew. She knew before anyone else. Maya rushed down the aisle, masks of composure cracking slightly at the corners. She whispered to the man in 9B, who immediately grabbed her arm, panic swelling in his eyes. She gently shushed him, pushing forward to confer with another attendant. The cockpit door remained closed, but behind it chaos was building. Captain Reeves fought to maintain altitude. His co-pilot, Andrew, flipped through checklists with trembling hands. The alarms blared too close together, one for engine temperature, one for pressure loss, one for fuel imbalance. Nothing made sense. They had full maintenance clearance. The weather was perfect. There was no logical reason the engines should fail, but they were failing. The nose dipped. People screamed. Trays rattled. The baby wailed again. This time with the terror everyone else tried to swallow. The woman in 9A finally opened her eyes fully. She had promised herself she wouldn't get involved again. She had walked away from that world, from the responsibility, from the weight of lives depending on her. Tonight was supposed to be just a trip. Quiet, forgettable. Then the right engine died. Not hissed, not sputtered. Died. The cabin plunged into a heavy silence. The kind that only comes when the background hum of life disappears. When survival becomes a question, not a guarantee. The woman unclipped her seatbelt. Maya rushed toward her. "Ma'am, please stay seated. We're losing both engines," the woman said calmly. Her voice was low, steady, oddly authoritative. "Altitude is dropping faster than you think. You need to prepare the passengers." Maya blinked, startled. How? How do you know that? The captain hasn't. You don't have time for questions. The woman stood, planting a hand on the seat back to steady herself against the shifting cabin. "Let me in the cockpit." Now, passengers stared. The turbulence worsened, sending a rolling tremor through the cabin. Overhead bins rattled. Someone cried out in prayer. Oxygen masks threatened to deploy. Maya hesitated. She was trained to follow procedure, and procedure said no passengers ever were allowed into the cockpit. But something in this woman's eyes erased protocol. It wasn't fear. It wasn't panic. It wasn't even confidence. It was recognition. Like she had seen this exact moment before. "Who are you?" Maya whispered. The woman's jaw tightened. "Someone who can help." Another violent jolt threw them sideways. A drink cart toppled. The aisle lights flickered red. That was enough. Maya nodded and led her forward through the panicking crowd. The intercom crackled with the captain's voice, strained and breathless. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a critical engine malfunction. Please remain seated." The announcement cut out abruptly, but Maya and the woman reached the cockpit door just as a second alarm erupted inside. Maya banged on the door. "Captain, emergency, permission to enter." No answer. She turned to the woman, panicked. "They're not responding." The woman pushed her aside, reached into her duffel, and pulled out a small metallic card. It wasn't a credit card, It wasn't a keycard. Its surface was matte black with a single silver insignia. A wing, a star, a lightning strike. Maya froze. No? Is that military? The woman didn't answer. She pressed the card to a nearly invisible seam beside the cockpit door. A place no civilian would ever notice. The seam glowed faintly blue, beeped once, then unlocked with a soft hiss. The door swung open. Captain Reeves stared at her, stunned. His co-pilot sat rigid, eyes wide in disbelief. "You," Reeves stammered. "No, that can't be you. Not after what happened. Not after you disappeared." The co-pilot whispered her old name, the one she hadn't heard in years. Commander Naira Hale. Gasps erupted behind her. Maya's jaw dropped. The woman stepped into the cockpit like she never left it. She scanned the instrument panel once, registering the data at lightning speed. Both engines gone. Altitude falling. Fast, controls sluggish. Left, hydraulic failure. Backup systems unstable. Reeves shook his head. "We're going down. I can't." "Yes, you can," Naira said sharply, "but not if you freeze. Get me the manual override." Reeves blinked. "The override was removed from commercial aircraft years ago, not this one," she said. "This model was part of the Aurora modification program. You kept the old system, and you never deactivated the emergency uplink, did you?" Reeves swallowed hard. "No." Naira slid into the jump seat behind the pilots, strapped in, and activated a hidden panel beneath the Reeves stared. "How did you know?" "Because I designed it," she said simply. Reeves nearly choked. "Excuse me, you designed the mod." Naira's silence confirmed everything he thought he knew, and everything he never knew. Maya hovered in the doorway, speechless. Behind her, anxious passengers leaned forward, trying to listen. Naira's fingers flew through commands, flipping switches whose labels were long faded. Lights blinked, screens shifted, the cockpit hummed with new energy. The plane steadied slightly, but only slightly. Reeves gulped. "Can you restart the engines?" "No." Her voice was steady. Too steady. "Then what are we doing?" the co-pilot asked, trembling. "Buying time," Naira replied, because in about 30 seconds her radio crackled. A voice cut through the static. "Skybird 9, this is Archangel Control. We've detected a dual engine failure on your aircraft. State your status." Reeves grabbed the mic. "Archangel, this is Captain Reeves. We've lost both engines. Attempting glide descent." It's not for you," Naira said, quietly. Reeves froze. The radio cracked again, this time with a different tone. Deeper, sharper. "Call sign, Valkyrie. Is that you?" Naira's breath caught. Passengers couldn't see her face, but Maya could. And in that moment, she realized this woman wasn't just a former pilot. She wasn't just she was something else, something classified. The radio repeated. More urgent this time. Valkyrie confirmed identity. Maya whispered, "What's Valkyrie?" Naira didn't answer her. Instead, she reached for the radio. Her hand trembled for the first time. She pressed the button. "This is Valkyrie," she said softly. "I'm on board." The radio exploded with voices shocked, relieved, terrified, confused. "Valkyrie, alive, where have you been? I thought the program is the aircraft hijacked." Then one voice overpowered them all. "Commander, do you need aerial support?" Naira looked out the cockpit window at the darkening sky. Plane shook violently again. Time slowed. "Passengers," screamed. The radio hissed. Naira Hale, once the most feared tactical pilot in the sky, spoke the words that changed everything. "Archangel Control. Scramble the F-22s." The cockpit fell silent. Reeves stared at her like she was a ghost. Maya covered her mouth, whispering a prayer she didn't know she remembered, because this wasn't just any former pilot. Not just any officer. Naira Hale was Valkyrie, the woman whose existence had been erased. The woman who wasn't supposed to be alive. The woman who had once commanded the skies. And now, every secret she had buried was rising into the clouds with them. As the plane continued to fall, a faint roar began to echo from far above. F-22s were coming, and they were coming for her. The sky outside the cockpit window darkened into a deep, icy blue. The plane drifted lower, its engines dead, its belly trembling as it sliced through the cold air like a wounded creature. The passengers gripped armrests, whispered prayers, cried quietly into sleeves. Some recorded goodbye messages on their phones. Others stared at the trembling wings, as if sheer willpower could hold them aloft. But in the cockpit, the atmosphere was different. It was heavier, sharper, charged. Naira didn't look afraid. She looked awakened, as if a dormant part of her, that she had kept buried for years, had snapped back to life the moment she confirmed her identity. Valkyrie. Reeves, pale and sweating, slid his glasses back up his nose. "You just secretly activated military backup on a commercial aircraft." Naira didn't blink. "I did what had to be done." "But why would they come for you?" the co-pilot asked. Naira didn't answer him either. Her gaze locked on the altimeter, watching the numbers fall too quickly. Too relentlessly, Maya remained near the door, one hand gripping the frame, her eyes darting between Naira and the failing instruments. "We're not going to make it to Seattle, are we?" "No," Naira said softly, "but we're not going to crash either." "How can you be sure?" Reeves whispered. Before she could respond, the radio crackled again. "Skybird 9, this is Archangel Control. F-22 Squadron, en route to your coordinates. Eat 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Reeves' jaw dropped. "They're that close." Naira's voice hardened. They were already airborne. Reeves stared at her, understanding crashing into him. "They've been tracking you." Naira didn't confirm or deny. She simply said, "I need external assistance for a controlled drop landing. The Raptor pilots will guide us." "A controlled what?" the co-pilot gasped. "A glide landing without engines," she said calmly. "Something that's only been done twice. Both times, with me in the cockpit," Maya whispered. "That's impossible." Naira's eyes flickered. Everything is impossible until it isn't. Another violent shudder ripped through the aircraft. The nose dipped sharply, sending the plane into a brief freefall. Screams erupted from the cabin. Oxygen masks dropped. Overhead bins flew open. Naira grabbed the stabilizer lever and yanked. The cockpit strained, metal creaking under the force, but the nose slowly lifted. Her arms trembled. Not with fear, with effort. She wasn't as strong as she used to be. Not as sharp, not as fearless, but the muscle memory, the instincts, they were still there, burning under her skin. Reeves stared at her in awe. "How did you even know where the override panel was?" "Even I didn't know about half of these switches." "I told you," she said quietly. "I helped build this." The radio beeped again, and a crisp voice broke through the static. "Skybird 9, this is Raptor 1. Commander, is it really you?" Naira closed her eyes briefly. That voice. She knew it. She had once trained it, once pushed it to its limits, once saved its life. "Raptor 1, she answered. "Confirm your position." "Descending to your 6 o'clock, we have visual." Reeves squinted through the window. "I don't see anything." "Wait," Naira said. A moment later, two shadows broke through the cloud sleek fast, cutting through the air with predatory precision. Then two more. Their wing lights flashed in tight formation. Passengers with window seats gasped. Pointing in disbelief, children pressed their faces to the glass. Adults whispered, phones lifted to capture the impossible sight. 4 F-22 Raptors surrounded the falling passenger jet, their presence both terrifying and comforting. Raptor 1 spoke again. "Commander, orders." Naira exhaled slowly. Like someone who had just slipped on a uniform she swore she'd never wear again. "Form diamond pattern. Reduce turbulence around the wings." "Roger that." The Raptors shifted instantly, flying so close their wingtips shimmered in the cabin's reflection. The jet steadied slightly, its descent less chaotic. Reeves stared. "I can't believe this. We're flying in formation with Raptors like it's a military escort." "It is," Naira said. "But why you?" Maya whispered again. Naira didn't look up. She couldn't, not yet. Her voice dropped, low and heavy. "Because I'm not just a former pilot. I'm the architect of the Valkyrie program. The one they shut down. The one they tried to bury. And they didn't want anyone to know I survived the last mission." Reeves swallowed. "The classified mission. The one where..." "Yes," she cut in. "The one where everything went wrong. But you were declared dead," Maya murmured. "I was supposed to be," Naira said. "It was safer that way." The plane jostled again, and she refocused instantly, gripping the controls. Altitude, 12,000 feet. Too low, too fast. Raptor 1 spoke again, urgency tightening his voice. "Commander, your descent rate is too steep. You need lift." Naira's jaw tensed. "I know, but the hydraulics are failing." "Then let us help," Raptor 1 said. "We'll push airflow under your wings." Reeves stared at the radio. "Is that even possible?" Naira didn't answer because in truth, it wasn, single quotes T. Not by normal standards. But this wasn't a normal crew. These were Valkyrie pilots, her pilots. "Raptor 1, she said. "On my mark, adjust your angle to create uplift on the starboard wing. Raptors 2 and 3, move beneath us at a 5-degree angle to stabilize drag." "Roger, copy ready." Naira waited, calculating wind speed, angle, altitude, pressure, all variables she could once compute instantly. Her head throbbed, her vision blurred at the edges. She ignored it. "Mark." The Raptors moved as if they were extensions of her will. Air flowed differently. The jet shuddered, then steadied again. Enough for Reeves to breathe for the first time in minutes. Altitude, 10,200 feet. Not enough time. Maya swallowed hard, her voice shaking. "Commander? Naira, why did you leave? If you were so important, why disappear?" Naira kept her gaze on the horizon. "Because the last mission cost lives. Lives I was responsible for. And because the government wanted a scapegoat for a classified failure, they declared me dead to protect the program. And to bury the truth." "What truth?" Reeves asked gently. Naira single quotes S voice lowered to a whisper. "That the engine failure then wasn't mechanical. It was sabotage. And I think it's happening again." The cockpit fell silent. Maya's face went pale. Sabotage. On this plane. By who? Naira didn't look away from the controls. That's what I intend to find out if we survive. Another gust slammed into the fuselage. The right wing dipped dangerously, scraping through turbulence like a knife through water. Altitude 8,500 feet. Reeves wiped sweat from his brow. We're running out of sky. I know. Can we land in the water? The co-pilot asked, voice cracking. No, Naira said. The angle is wrong. We'll break apart on impact. Then what's the plan? Maya whispered. Nyra inhaled deeply. Raptor 1, she said, I need you to vector us toward Clear Valley runway. Reeves nearly choked. That runway was decommissioned. It still has emergency lights, she said, and no traffic. But it's too short. Not if we land at the right angle. The radio crackled again. Raptor 1's voice sounded tight with fear. Commander, that maneuver is insane. I know. You trained us never to attempt it. I know. And you want to do it with 200 civilians on board. Naira's voice broke for the first time. I know. Silence. Then Raptor 1 whispered something Naira didn't expect. I trust you. She blinked hard, then refocused. Altitude, 6,200 feet. Every second mattered. Every breath mattered. Every fraction of a degree in the controls meant life or death. Reeves looked at her. You're risking everything. Naira didn't look away from the sky. My life stopped being mine the day I signed into the Valkyrie program. Maya whispered, the passengers. They don't know who you are. They think you're just a quiet lady in 9A. Naira's lips trembled. Good heroes only exist in stories. I'm no hero, but you're saving them, Maya said. Nyra didn't answer. Altitude, 4,900 feet. The ground now visible through the clouds. The valley ahead dark, unforgiving, surrounded by jagged tree lines waited like a secret graveyard. Reeves tightened his grip. If we miscalculate, we'll hit the ridge. We won't, Naira said. Trust me. The Raptors repositioned, creating airflow to guide them. The jet tilted slightly, lining up with the narrow valley. Altitude 3,100 feet. The passengers held hands. The baby screamed. A man whispered, please God, not today. The runway lights flickered in the distance. Broken, dim, barely visible, but enough. Naira locked the stabilizers. Brace. Altitude, 1,700 feet. The valley narrowed. The runway raced toward them like a blade. Commander, Raptor 1 shouted. Pull up. Not yet. Altitude, 1,200 feet. Alarms screamed. Engines were dead weight. Hydraulics creaked. Naira, now, Reeves yelled. Naira pulled. The jet's nose lifted. The belly skimmed the treetops, clipping branches that ricocheted off the metal. Altitude, 400 feet. The runway surged forward. Please let this work, the co-pilot cried. Naira slammed a manual override. The jet struck the ground. Hard. Sparks exploded. Metal screamed. The cabin lurched violently. The world turned sideways. People flew against seatbelts. Bags tumbled. Lights burst. And then the jet slid. Until finally, it stopped. Silence swallowed the world. For a moment, no one breathed. Then passengers began sobbing with relief, hugging strangers, whispering thank yous to the sky. Reeves exhaled shakily. I don't know how we're alive. Maya stared at Naira, tears in her eyes. You saved them, all of them. Naira unbuckled her straps slowly. Her hands shook, not from fear, from everything she had tried to leave behind. Finally catching up to her, Raptor 1's voice cracked through the radio, raw with emotion. Command.